Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevette.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. You're going to win a Pulitzer. Tongue twisters. Do the math. Not nominated for Best Picture. Brutus. And Ike Speaks. Player 1, you start us off. 39xy divided by 3x equals this. Let's hear it, Player 2. Is correct. Player 2, where do we start? Add 20, 21, and 22, multiply by 3, and you get this. Yes, Player 1? Yes. Player 1, you start us off. These animals shouldn't sleep in a shack. These animals should sleep in a shed. Player 2. Correct. Player 2, you start us off. He penned the immortal line, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves." Here's the correct response. William Shakespeare. Please pick again, Player 2. In this 13th century work, Brutus is described as suffering in the lowest pit of hell. Yes, Player 2. That's correct. Player 2, back to you. This Greek biographer of parallel lives suggested Brutus was Julius Caesar's illegitimate son. We're talking about Plutarch. You get to pick again, Player 2. Brutus joined a conspiracy to assassinate Julius Caesar that was led by this man. Here's the correct response. Cassius. Select again. During the Roman Civil War, Brutus sided with this man, but was later pardoned by Julius Caesar. Oops. We're talking about Pompey. We return to you, Player 2. Bogey and Hepburn floated across the screen in this 1951 film that pleased audiences and critics, but not the Academy. Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. Player 1, make a selection, please, as we continue. She sells seashells by this location. Player 1? Yes. You get to pick again, player one. In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, these windy storms hardly ever happen. Let's hear it, player one.
Woo!
Yes. Player one, you pick again, please. One of these animals sat on a stump and thunk the stump stunk. Okay, player one. Yes. You get to pick again, player one. Answer. The Daily Double. You are in first place. How much are you going to wager, player one? Answer. The sawingest saw I ever saw was the saw I saw in this land of opportunity state. That puts you even further ahead. Player one, back to you for our next selection. -4 times -4 times -2 times -2 equals this. It's player one. No, that's not right. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we were looking for. 64. Please pick again, player one. If 7x plus 5 equals 40, x equals this. Let's hear it, player one.
Yeah!
Good for you. We return to you, player one. From the Greek for stretch, it's the term for the longest side of a right triangle. We're talking about the hypotenuse. Please pick again, player one. You couldn't drag a Best Picture nomination out of the Academy for this 1959 Billy Wilder film. Well, nobody's perfect. We're talking about Some Like It Hot. We return to you, player one. The Academy must have been out to lunch not nominating this 1961 Audrey Hepburn-George Peppard film. It's player one. Right. Player one, back to you. In 1954, this Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly starer from Alfred Hitchcock didn't get a second glance. Okay, player three. Good. Player three, you start us off. Eisenhower said, "No treaty or international agreement can contravene this document." Let's hear it, player three. No, sorry. Any other takers? Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. All right, let's get back into this. Player one has control of the board. Ike telegrammed that the mission of his Allied force was fulfilled at 0241 hours local time in this month, 1945. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
That is correct. Player one, you pick again, please. Driving Miss Daisy won for 1989, the year this Spike Lee film about urban racism was passed over. Yes, player one? That is correct. You again, player one. Of this man's contributions to major White House decisions, Ike said, "If you give me a week, I might think of one." Okay, player two. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Richard Nixon. Player one. Pick again. In 1957, Ike used the full power of the United States to enforce integration at Central High in this city. It's player two. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Any other takers? Yes, player one? Good. Player one, back to you. Eisenhower said appointing him to the Supreme Court was the biggest damn fool mistake I ever made. The correct response is Earl Warren. Player one, you pick again, please. Julia Keller won in 2005 for her reporting on a 10-second event, the destruction of Utica, Illinois, by one of these. It's player one.
Yeah!
Good. You get to pick again, player one. In 2007, counterintelligence columnist Jonathan Gold became the first critic of these to win a Pulitzer. Yes, player three? You got it.
Yeah! Woo!
Where do we begin, player three? This city's Herald won in 1993 for public service for coverage of Hurricane Andrew and its aftermath. Yes, player one?
Yeah!
Right you are. Player one, where do we start? The first two Pulitzers for writing these, to the New York Tribune and Louisville Courier-Journal, didn't name the authors. Here's the response we were looking for. Editorials. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. Russell Jones won for his reporting about Soviet repression from this capital in 1956. Let's hear it, player one.
Oh.
Nope. Any other takers? Here's what we wanted. Budapest. Player two will select first in Double Jeopardy right after this. We start the Double Jeopardy categories with this one. I want to be medicine, men and women. The scintillating 1700s. TV math. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. and it's in the dictionary. Player 2, make a selection, please, as we continue. The future King George II lost his marbles over Henrietta Howard and gave her Marble Hill House on this river. Okay, player 2. Yep. A famous one of these, Marie Camargo, is remembered for shortening her skirts to calf length. It's player 1.
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. Player 1, where do we start? Fred McMurray's title sons minus Paul Reiser's title dads. Yes, player 1? Good. We return to you, player 1. Colonel Steve Austin's title worth plus the amount of title days at a time for Bonnie Franklin. Let's hear it, player 3. Good for you. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. John Ritter's sitcom Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter times John Ritter's sitcom Company. Player 1? That's correct. Player 1, where do we start?
Woo!
Answer, the first of the 2 daily doubles. You are in the lead right now. Player 1, please select your wager. And the clue. Careful. Tina Fey's title Rock minus Ashton Kutcher's title Men. That puts you even further ahead. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Hawkeye's unit number in MASH, plus John Lithgow's title Rock from the Sun. Here's the response we were looking for. What is 4080? You get to pick again, player 1. Aye, aye, Odysseus. You want to blind Polyphemus, one of these. We, your captive crew, totally have your back. It's player 1.
Woo!
Hey, you're right. You get to pick again, player 1. One of these, from the Greek for star sailor, like John Glenn or Buzz Aldrin. It's player 1.
Yeah!
Correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. A loud sound expressing disapproval. This New York City borough's cheer. It's player 1.
Woo!
Good for you. Player 1, back to you. A Muslim holy war or spiritual struggle against infidels. From the Arabic. It's player 2. That's it. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has a hinged plastic case designed to hold a compact disc and usually a printed insert or liner. Yes, player one?
Oh!
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. A jewel case. You get to pick again, player two. This tech acronym states that the integrity of output is dependent on the integrity of input. Here's what we were looking for. GIGO. Player two, back to you for our next selection. A dried and smoked ripe jalapeno pepper, which is dark reddish-brown with a strong piquant flavor. Player one? No, that's not right. Any other takers? Here's what we wanted. Chipotle. You again, player two. One of these dancers, so I'm practicing my arabesques and pirouettes so I can perform with the Kirov. It's player one.
Yes!
Where do we begin, player one? Associated with unicorns, the Qilin of this large country's pantheon visits when philosophers are born. Player one?
Yeah!
Right you are. Select again. Shadowfax, a horse of Rohan, was untamed until approached by this wizard. Yes, player three? Yeah, good. Player three, you start us off. Bully for Theseus, who killed this bad two-legged monster that ate sacrifices in a Cretan maze. Here's what we wanted. The Minotaur. Player three, back to you for our next selection. Chiron, one of these four-legged mythical creatures, was good. He taught Jason and Achilles. It's player one. That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Centaur. Please pick again, player three. In 1968, a federal court found this author and pediatrician guilty of violating the Selective Service Act. Player two.
Woo!
Right. Player two, you start. One of these, and deal with the health problems of vicunas, pintos, and Great Danes. Player one? Good for you. Player one, you're in command of the board, like Martin Luther King and the Dalai Lama, and be honored with this humanitarian prize given in Oslo. Okay, player one. Right. We return to you, player one. This, from the Greek for straight, and make some big bucks correcting crooked teeth with braces. It's player one. Good. Player one, back to you for our... In 1659, Italian anatomist Marcello Malpighi discovered that the lungs were made up of these tiny air sacs. Okay, player one. No, sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player two. Oh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Okay, player three. You got it. Player three, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? This German bacteriologist developed a test for syphilis and an inoculation for tetanus. Okay, player two. That's correct. Player two, you start. In 1796, he inoculated 8-year-old James Phipps with material from a cowpox pustule from Sarah Nelms. Okay, player two. Good. Player two, choose again. In 1889, Susan LaFlèche Picotte, a member of this Nebraska tribe, became the first Native American female doctor. Okay, player three. That's it. Player three, you start. In 1752, suave seducer Sergei Saltykov spiced up the life of this future empress. Let's hear it, player one. Yep.
Yeah!
Player one, start us.
Whoa!
The other daily double. You are currently in the lead. How much are you going to wager, player one? The clue, born into a family of actors, he was expelled from a seminary, big surprise, before finding fame as a lusty libertine. That puts you even further ahead. And now the $2,000 clue. Here's Jimmy to start us off.
An engraving of this 18th century French monarch, America's most powerful ally during the Revolution, hangs at Mount Vernon.
It's player two. Right. Good game. All of you will continue on to play Final Jeopardy when we return. Here comes the Final Jeopardy, players. The category is this: poets. So, what's your wager? All right, players, this is what it comes down to. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue. Fired from a job for laziness, he wrote, "I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass." Let's see your response. And that will lose you. Did you come up with the correct response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? Did you come up with the correct response? And that will lose you. Congratulations, player one. You're the winner. So long, everybody.